hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
All right, welcome in. Hoist the Colors, Tuesday, May 14th. An exciting edition of the show. We have Bobby Harward in studio. He is on hold for the time being. We're having an impromptu start to the show. I'll introduce that in a minute. ECU baseball was scheduled to play today. That game has been canceled, as we anticipated to a degree, due to rain. So Pirates will conclude the regular season this weekend against Rice, technically Thursday through Saturday, so semi-weekend. But we'll talk about that and much more with Bobby in a little bit. But we're going to start the show with some Team Boneyard talk. We've got Matt Slate in studio. Matt, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Good to see you. Thank you for having me back.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. A little impromptu.
It's the best way to do it.
Yeah. It was like, okay, we'll do this right now.
So it's because we're launching a new product.
We are. So we do. We have exciting to launch a co-branded product. We've done a few of these. We did the vodka, but this is kind of the next step. Hancock Peanuts. So ECU alum Scott Duke, great guy, had approached Team Boneyard about doing a peanut collaboration. So we're here. So we've got Team Boneyard salted peanuts are up and ready to go. We're going to be dropping these today. They will be on, if you go to teamboneyard.org, and right below, scroll down, there's a link that takes you to the Hancock Peanuts site. Or if you went to hancockpeanuts.com/Team Boneyard, we have the peanuts available on his site. They are, the majority of the profits here, obviously, are going to NIL. I will say these are some of the best peanuts I have ever had. I'm a connoisseur of all things snack food, and and so I would put myself, at a high degree of judging good snack foods, and this is on the top of the cake as far as of peanuts. So really excited. Hancock Peanuts story is a cool story too. They've been around since 1944. It's been in the Duke family. Scott has been he's a great pirate. Their company's located here in Greenville, North Carolina. He operates it with a couple other things that he's got going on, and this is a collaboration. So where the majority of the profits are going to NIL. So it's another way to fill your belly a little bit and support Team Boneyard NIL opportunities.
Absolutely. You go to teamboneyard.org, and it's right there near the top to get those peanuts or the link to them. And again, ECU alum, their business, you can support them and Team Boneyard all in one. So and if you're an ECU fan, ECU person, it just makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. I think if a lot of us eat peanuts, just like a lot of us have had a vodka here and there. So we've trying to find ways. We've got some other things, that we've got brewing, so to speak, and we're excited about that too. But I would say, like, if you're an ECU business and you're thinking about, hey, I'd like to be involved with NIL, let's talk. But we're open to any type of solutions we can try to come up with, because we know this is part of the mechanism that's going to help ECU athletics. We're excited about what we've been able to do so far, but we know that the competition. I mean, I look at here we are, kind of in year 3 of what NIL is.
Yeah.
Competition is only getting more significant, and you're kind of seeing the gateways, the doors open up from the NCAA of what's going to, what can happen. And so I don't think that this is going to be an easy slog. This is going to be, we got to be competitive, we got to be aggressive, and we're trying to give our fans different tangible things that they can enjoy and support us while doing it. No
doubt. Matt Slate from Team Boneyard in studio with us. William Landis says, well done, Matt. Thanks for all your work for Team Boneyard.
Oh,
so, a lot of fans out there, and always good to give them something tangible. And we were talking, that's something y'all are working on as well with the membership model. Yep. Y'all done the shop. You guys did the auction. So just kind of a quick update before we let you go on maybe all that and how that's all coming together. Yeah, so the
shop has gone really well. It's interesting because we've looked at it and we've really kind of got to get the data figured out. But I would say we've had about 100 customers that have purchased merchandise that haven't engaged with us before. So we've got to figure out, all of that and how we continue to engage with them. We've got some new product we're working on. David Faree, Anson Belt, who is a huge supporter of NIL with us, but he's also a bit of the mastermind behind the shop. He's working hard. He and I text each other. Do you like this hat? Do you like this hat? Well, we've got some things that we're close to dropping there that will continue to be different. And we are, I think, we've got somebody that's worked on a few things design-wise that has worked in the past with ECU Athletics that we're going to have help us design some what we hope are some cool gear. And so we're going to continue to kind of push that. But teamboneyard.shop is the actual where that is located on the net. If you go to teamboneyard.org and you go up in the right-hand corner, there's a menu. You can click merchandise shop now. You can click monthly subscriptions, and you can click peanuts. So all of this is there, and it takes you directly to it. So it's we're continuing to make that road down, just trying to find ways to engage with ECU Pirate athletic fans.
The website looks sharp. I mean, just checking it out right now. You guys have done great work with a little bit of a redesign, so to speak, and it looks good. And so last thing for you, approaching summertime, kind of a lot of the heavy lifting from the NIL for, I guess, the coming athletics year has already been done. What's kind of y'all's goal on the NIL front for that?
We're really, we've already sort of turned the page of figuring out we've got to be focused on 2025, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've gotten through the transfer portal. That was football. Coach Schwartz is, and I will tell you, he is recruiting hard. And he's working on finding the right players to fit into the system what he's looking for. But so we know where that is. But outside of that, we are really starting to focus on we're really kind of thinking about the membership model and what do we do over the next couple months to make that more attractive to our fans. 2, if we can find some other products. 3, getting the shop up and more robust. But it really is finding all the ways to continue to build towards 2025, because we're going into football. We feel like we've got that roster pretty straight there for what we can tell. Maybe there's a recruit or two that they're going to look at for that maybe install the portal. They may have a scholarship or two. I'm not sure. There's a little bit of movement.
A little bit left, yeah, a little bit of room.
But I mean, outside of that, we're really kind of focused on, all right, 1, we're hoping this all kind of comes together and we have good results. But 2, what do we need to start thinking about doing for 2025? So that's kind of where the board's head has moved already, as what is 2025 going to be? What do we need to do for football? What do we need to do for basketball? And obviously the 23 club is focused on, will be focused on baseball, in the coming year. So we got to get through this year. Hopefully that's not done too quickly.
Yeah, another month and a half, all the way through Omaha. Let's get it done.
Yeah, no, I've already had a debate with we have a family vacation that is already booked. That's in the middle of Omaha, and I've already, I'd like to have the debate with my wife about where I'm going to be.
It would be a good problem to have.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Matt, hey, great impromptu visit, man. Again, peanuts available with the Hancock peanuts at you can get on teamboneyard.org or hancockpeanuts.com. So great, and you say they taste great. I have to try some.
No, these are quality. I mean, A+. So trust me, I'm good at snacks.
Well, we'll get you back in here for a full hour soon enough, Matt. But we appreciate the time, man. And again, everybody go to teamboneyard.org. Support the NIL initiative over for East Carolina athletics.
Yeah,
all right.
and thank you for letting me jump in.
Absolutely,
so,
man.
Get back to your regular programming.
Great job, man. You're short, to the point. That's what we like, unlike Hank. But all right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. This is Hoist the Colors.
Thank you.
New Toyotas, 0 down and only $369 a month at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Buy with 0% or get Corollas, $369 a month with 0 down. This is not a lease. You own it. Plus, get our Greenville Advantage at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins', we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Dum-dum-dum. Get low, get low, get low. 369, ooh, she fine. Hoping she can sing it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low.
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Ready to save thousands with a great rate? Get 0% financing at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Shop our massive inventory of new Toyotas, available as low as 0%. Hurry to Greenville Toyota today, where our volume saves you money.
Everything you need to know in the world of ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors. Thanks again to Matt Slate from Team Boneyard. He dropped by. Some new salted peanuts collaboration with Hancock Peanut Company, which is an ECU alum. Let me see if I can hold this straight for the camera. There we go. You can go to teamboneyard.org and also hancockpeanuts.com to purchase this. A large chunk goes to Team Boneyard, the NIL initiative, and of course you can support an ECU alum business as well. So appreciate Matt for dropping that by. We'll have more Team Boneyard information to come later this summer. All right, we got our usual Wednesday guest on Tuesday, Bobby Harward, brought to you by Basil's today. Bobby, first off, welcome back in studio, man. It feels like it's been a minute.
Dude, it's been forever. I'm glad I'm back. Even though it's not a Wednesday, it's okay. I feel like the last month or month and a half, just between my schedule, the show schedule, not, ever really being on a Wednesday, having to do it from home and just everything. So glad to finally be back and I guess a little bit of normalcy here.
Yeah, we've been, it's like moving chess pieces around trying to get you on. And then, what was it, 2 weeks ago we tried to have you on and your internet line got cut?
Dude, what a mess. Literally, like, when did they come? The show started at 12. I was getting on at 12:30. He dropped off the side at like 11:45, 12. And then I'm like, I see him moving the forklift over to the line. I'm like, bro, you're caught. And then all of a sudden it just snaps. He didn't hear me. And I was like, well, maybe I can just join over the phone.
I mean, it worked.
I listened back to the video and I was like, holy crap, how bad did that cut out?
Yeah. Well, we got like 5 minutes out of you. So, it was a well-earned appearance. You got your compensation still, so it is what it is. Good to have you back, though, Bobby. And so we were going to talk some ECU baseball, which we will still hit on, by the way. The game tonight canceled. We'll just start briefly there. We want to get into some new ECU football win totals that have been dropped. We'll look across the American, some interesting numbers here in a second. But ECU baseball, scheduled to play Campbell tonight. Rain in the forecast all day. Game canceled. I feel like nobody's really sad about this situation. We'll get Philip's take on this, but we'll start with Bobby. I did talk to Cam Clunch yesterday, Bobby. He was like, I just want to play as a player to get that taste out of the mouth. But I think with everything ECU has to play for this week against Rice, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is the best thing really for this weekend, which is their ultimate goal is to win the regular season of the conference heading into the conference tournament. And then also it allows your arms to get some more rest and set up going into what's going to be a heavy 2 weeks with the conference tournament and then a regional. You know, we're talking about them potentially losing that national 8 seed, but they still got a good shot of obviously hosting a regional, and that's, you know, just as important. They still need to get through, regardless whether you're a top seed or national seed or not, you still got to win your regional to get to the super regional. So just need those arms rested, kind of everybody get to regather themselves and take some deep breaths here.
Philip, your take on the game not being played. The only thing that kind of ticks me off is like Campbell fans are already in my mentions saying like roll humps and all this stuff. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. I get they've got a winning streak over ECU, but you can't take credit for a rain out.
No, you cannot. And as it relates to the game being canceled, you know, if you're a player, you've got to be disappointed. Like Cam Con said, you want to get that taste out of your mouth. And another thing that you have to do as a player is you have confidence whether you play one game in a week or whether you play 7 doubleheaders and play 14 games. If you're not confident that you can win every single game you play, you're never going to make it to Omaha and you're never going to win in Omaha. So it's right that the players say, yes, we want to play. But take a step back. As a fan, still unsure, you know, how healthy Wyatt is, how healthy Root is. And, you know, at the end of the day, we realize, look, you know, we want to win these 3 here because if you don't, you know, we were talking to Kendall Rogers this morning, who's going to be on the Patrick Johnson show later, and he mentioned that, you know, if you lose a game to Rice, that's really going to hurt. You think the Tulane hurt your RPI? Wait till you lose a game to Rice. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the unfortunate thing about baseball is the less games you play, the better you stand a chance to win the games that you do play, which is kind of weird, but that's kind of how it is, and that's the nature of baseball because of how pitching works.
Yeah, ECU right now is in 12th in RPI, but if you look into like the War Nolan, you can go to impact games. There's only 60 points separating them from 17th place and 75 points separating them from 20th place. So basically, if you lose one game to Rice, you could fall from 12 to at least 20. That's just one game. You lose the series, you're in massive trouble. You lose one game, you're in trouble. So, I mean, it is critical ECU at least wins 2 out of 3, if not sweeps from an RPI perspective. They would have gotten 11 points for winning today against Campbell. If you lose, it's minus 51. So, I mean, really to play the game, you're 36 points behind Alabama right now for 11th. You wouldn't have gained much outside of maybe getting some ground for if you stumble against Rice. But I don't know, Bobby, I don't know if you heard Cliff Godwin at all yesterday or any of the stuff he said, but he's not pushing the panic button, which I think, look, he's such a great CEO of the program. He knows what to say in situations like this to calm the fan base, you know, to a degree. Some people are not going to be calm. And I get it. You know, you lose 5 in a row for the first time in 7 years. There's going to be a level of uncertainty about the team from some fans. But what's your take as, you know, a guy who follows the program about this kind of rough stretch?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he's not freaking out because I'm kind of freaking out. And the reason, again, it's baseball. We've said it 100 times. It's a weird sport. And, you know, they could just go on another massive long win streak here. I guess where my concern comes from is the past few seasons, they've kind of started out slow. But at this time of the year, they've hit their stride and they're rolling. Yeah. And they have confidence, you know, going into the conference tournament, going into postseason play. And right now, that it's kind of the opposite. So the thing that gives me hope, his teams are always pretty tough mentally. He demands a lot of them in the offseason, which, you know, builds that character and allows them to push through these tough times. And hopefully it pays off because, I mean, we're going to find out here in the next 2 weeks. So, yeah, I'm glad he's not freaking out.
No doubt. He may be internally, but he's not going to show it. So, and look, you got Trey Savage going Thursday. I mean, I wouldn't pick a better stopper in the country. I feel like coming off a subpar performance by his standards, I would hate to be Rice going in Thursday is what I would say because I feel like he's going to be ticked off. And when Trey Savage is ticked off, as we saw versus Wichita State when he struck out 15, it could be problematic. So we'll see. We'll preview that series more in the coming days.
Side note with that series, I'll be Friday night. We're going Friday night. That will be my first baseball game since 2018. I have not been out there since 2018. Yeah. Just between the kids and everything like that.
Kids, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, like.
So y'all bringing the whole family?
Well, the whole family, all 5 of us will be there. We're going to be out in the jungle. That regional in 18 when we had South Carolina and Wilmington and all them. That was the last one because my daughter was born in 19, and then we just did not. We weren't brave enough like you guys to take the kids out there.
It's crazy, man. I tell you, with kids, the jungle though is good because they can entertain themselves because there's so many other kids out there.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all will find that out. It's just, I will say, it is kind of hard to watch the game because like you're worried about your kid colliding with somebody else's kid, or like I'll look over. Last time I took Slater out there, he was playing with somebody else's like badminton thing, and like he was throwing it against the wall. So I was just scared he was gonna just run off and do his own thing. Which maybe that would be okay. He would find his way back eventually. But it'll be fun, man. So glad you're getting out there. So it's been 7 years since ECU lost 5 games in a row. It's been 6 years since you've been to an ECU baseball game. So
wow,
it's time to snap a couple streaks this week. All right, let's transition to ECU football because it is May. It's mid-May. There's not too many nuggets or newsworthy items to discuss, but the latest odds have dropped for the win totals, and I feel like this is significant. Across the American, it's out. We'll start close to home with ECU. And you got a team coming off a 2-10 season. I kind of wondered what the win total would be because the schedule is favorable, but you have a 2-10 season you're coming off of. FanDuel has released its odds, and the odds are at 6.5 over-under wins for ECU, which I feel like is honestly a good number. If you go 7.5, I think people are going to hammer the under based on last year's results. I think 6.5 is a good number because, like, you can look at the schedule and say they're probably going to get 6. Can they get 7, 8, 9? And you look at the odds. Over 6.5 is plus money, plus 114. Under is minus 134 on FanDuel. So what do you think of the number being at 6.5?
Yeah, I think that's a fair number. Honestly, I'd be curious being able to compare it to other 2-3 win teams last season. I bet that's pretty high. But I think it also shows, these experts out there, they understand, our defense was really, really solid last year, and offensively was just a disaster. Between that, fixing the offense, and then retaining those defensive pieces that were key, you also have a schedule that sets up very favorably. I know we've talked about it a little bit when the schedule was released, but I can't state it enough. Starting out your season with a new offensive coordinator with Norfolk State is a big deal. It allows that new OC, it allows John David Baker to get comfortable calling plays against Norfolk State, allows him to make mistakes, and he's not playing UNC or NC State where it's a high pressure. I mean, it's still high pressure, but not, all eyes are just glaring and beaming on you type situation. Like, you have some room for error in this game. And then the out-of-conference schedule sets up so favorably. I'm going to hit the over. I need to hit it before the odds drop a little bit. But honestly, if I were to do a prediction right now, I'd probably say 9 wins. I think 9. Yeah, I think 9-3. I know I said 3-10 last year. I said 3-10 last year. We went 2. No, I said 3-9. We went 2-10. So I'm going to go 9, and maybe we'll hit 10-2.
What do you think of 6.5, Phillip?
Vegas is in this to make money. And Bobby started off his argument saying this is the perfect number where 50% of the money is going to be on the under and 50% is going to be on the over. It's a great number. With that being said, I do not see ECU winning 6 or 7 football games this year. They either get their crap together, and with this favorable schedule, they win 9 games, or they don't get their crap together and they win 4 games. I don't know if there's an in-between spot for this team right now, especially with such a powerhouse defense, especially with the turnover on offense that we see. However, with that being said, if you realize what's right in the middle of those 2 numbers I just picked, 6.5. So I think it's the right number. I think it's the way Vegas is going to profit, which is what they want to do. So I'm kind of with Bobby here. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I think it's going to be the over. But that's a good number because, kind of like you said, if you would have went, I think, anywhere else with this, the money would have not been as even. So, good spot. But, again, I think they cruise past it or they don't touch it. It's one or the other.
Yeah, the schedule is I mean, it's definitely favorable. It's just I'm looking at it now. You got Norfolk State. Like, obviously, that's being counted as a win by Vegas, I would say. You've got Temple, I would say, is being counted as a win. That's 2. Outside of that, like, are there any slam dunk wins? I think what you have is a bunch of games that are 50-50 or like 60-40 on paper. You've got at ODU, like, I would say I think ECU is going to win that game, but it's definitely not a slam dunk. Like, App State at home is 50-50. Liberty on the road is probably 60-40 the other way. I think at Charlotte, sadly, is 50-50. UTSA at home, it's a winnable game, but, not a slam dunk. At Army, it's tough to project. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. See, I'm going to disagree with you about Liberty. I think Liberty's not going to be as good as they were last year. I think they lost that quarterback. He did a lot for them.
Granted, he's back.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he entered the portal and
he
came
back.
back.
Okay.
I don't know if Liberty was good last year.
That's the other
I mean,
thing.
I think wasn't their schedule like J.H. Rose, Conley, South Central, North
Yeah,
Pitt?
it was 133 out of 133.
And it's not any more difficult this year. You want me to read this schedule?
Yeah, it is. They got the Pirates, baby. Come on.
This is the Liberty schedule in 2024. Campbell at New Mexico State, UTEP, ECU at App, FIU at Kennesaw State, Jacksonville State at Middle Tennessee, at UMass, Western Kentucky at Sam Houston.
How many FCS games do they play?
They're Conference USA now. That's the thing.
Kennesaw State's in Conference USA?
Yeah.
All those FCS teams are like in Conference USA now.
Oh.
My brother sent me something. 22-point-something% of the FBS teams now have played in CUSA at some point in time.
That's wild.
Which is nuts. But so going back to the schedule. I'm sorry. No, that was a good off track though. But yeah, I think Liberty's a win. I mean, I think we go 4-0 because here's the thing. The teams that really scare me, App State, we have at home, which is very favorable. Charlotte, that they're a big toss-up just because what they've done with the portal. I think they're a true boom or bust like opponent in the sense of, I mean, they could hit on those guys and they'd be pretty solid, or they could just all, they completely whiffed, character issues, whatever, and they just, are off. And then you come down, Florida Atlantic kind of scares me just knowing the type of athletes that Tom Herman recruits and his system and those sort of things. And then Navy, having Navy at home, I think is a big deal. Having them at the end of the year. I will say the road game that does scare me is at Army. Just, again, triple option. They're always a well-coached team. But Tulsa, North Texas, dude, I don't know. Yeah, it's just a crapshoot.
Revenge game against Tulsa. We're beating Tulsa.
I have no idea what to expect at North Texas. Like, I haven't watched a single North Texas football game in my lifetime, I think. Outside of maybe trying to check in on Mark Yellock a decade ago.
I did when Mark was out there, Brad Davis, Seth Luttrell, I always tracked him. I liked what he did offensively. But, I mean, I think UTSA, dude, I don't think they're going to be as good either. They lose Harris, and they lost their big pass rusher to, Texas A&M and some receivers. I
think they have good on NIL, though. I think they're going to be solid. You're right. They won't be what they've been, but still, you're glad that game's at home, I think.
I guess let me ask this.
It's a big home game.
What team in the American right now do you just fear and think is an automatic loss? Whether we play them or don't play them?
Nobody on the schedule. I would say Memphis and Tulane. Not automatic losses, but games that ECU would assuredly be underdogs in.
Yeah.
Now, the team everybody loves this year is USF. ECU doesn't have any of the 3 projected top teams. All right, so let's look at FanDuel. The over-unders, they have Memphis 8.5 wins. They have South Florida 7.5 wins. Tulane 7.5. UTSA 7.5. Those are the only teams above ECU, and there's a bunch with 6.5. And you have 3 of those teams aren't even on your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, to answer your question, nobody's an automatic loss.
Right. Yeah,
ECU
I agree
beat
with
Memphis the last 2 times they played them. I would say Memphis probably has the most talent now with their NIL.
Yeah. No, I agree. Memphis and South Florida are probably the 2 that would scare me, but we're missing them. So, again, schedule is very favorable. Tulane it's going to be interesting with their new coach. Now, he's a heck of a football coach coming over from Troy. Again, they're replacing Michael Pratt. They've got a lot they're replacing as well, so there's going to be some transition there. Now, it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about this and also realizing, hey, we're coming off of 2-10,
Right.
and we're replacing an offensive coordinator and most of our skill positions on offense. So I get that. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Most people are looking at ECU on other radio stations if they would have them, which they don't.
Right.
In the American, to be like, ECU, that's a win.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Agree with that. Kind of the same way. You know, I'm really hoping. Last year, I thought we would take advantage of those CUSA teams that are moving up. I'm hoping we can do that now. I think we do have superior talent than these teams still. I think we won't see that talent start, more level until, maybe next year or the year after. In terms of high school recruiting, obviously the transfer portal skews that more so than that transition from Conference USA to the American, when we had that 1 year with Florida Atlantic and FIU, and we were kind of able to take advantage of them. That was prior to the transfer portal time. But so now things do balance back out.
All right, if I had to tell y'all, there are 2 teams that have less than 4 on their win total in the American, according to FanDuel, who'd y'all guess?
Temple is 1.
Temple is 1. They are at 2.5. Let me read this Temple schedule real quick. Temple is at Oklahoma, at Navy, Coastal Carolina, Utah State, Army, at UConn, Tulsa, at ECU, at Tulane, FAU, at UTSA, North Texas. So, I mean, they could get 3. 2.5 is pretty low. They must be projected to be terrible.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, you said under 4?
Yep,
2
under
teams
4. There's another team that is projected by FanDuel to have a win total, or the win total is set under 4.
I'm thinking Rice or Tulsa.
Tulsa is at 4.5. The Charlotte 49ers
Really?
are at 3.5.
Wow, they're projected less than Rice.
Now, Charlotte's schedule, they open with James Madison.
Loss.
They go to North Carolina.
Loss.
They host Gardner-Webb.
Win.
Go to Indiana. Go to Rice. Take on ECU. Go to Navy. Go to Memphis. Host Tulane. Host USF. Go to FAU. Host UAB.
That's a tough schedule.
Yeah,
that is
That's
tough.
really tough. Yeah, that makes me feel better about the Charlotte game because I think they might come in a little depleted because they might come in about 1-5.
They go
That's rough.
back-to-back road games at Indiana, at Rice before hosting ECU. And, yeah, I mean, ECU doesn't get Memphis, USF, or Tulane. Charlotte has to play them all.
And here's the other thing with that game being in Charlotte. I know it's not a home game, but there's a lot of, and Philip, you can probably speak to this, a lot of Pirate faithful in Charlotte. And I think that university is going to have to try to do everything they can to keep our fans out of the stadium. I could very much see Pirate fans kind of taking over because it's, 20-something thousand?
14,995, I think.
Yeah, it's worse than I thought.
That's terrible. That's a joke, man.
Or maybe it's
14,000?
no, I take that back because you have to average at least 15,000 once every 2 years. They're just over 15,000. It's like 15,095 or something like that.
15,314.
Okay, they've expanded.
I mean, what is it? I mean,
so
that's a joke.
Yeah. So to Bobby's point, you're right. They're going to have to do everything they can to keep us out, but the number is so low, it will be slightly easier because you got to think X amount of those tickets are student tickets only. We won't be able to get our hands on those. They have like 2,500 season ticket holders, I think. So that's that. So let's say there's 3,000 of the 15 there. So already 20% we're not getting our hands on. So 80% is a good number, but I think some people will just try and buy tickets solely so that we don't show up.
Really? I was going to ask you, do you think, I don't know if they're allowed to do this or you have to put provide a student ID. Would you think Charlotte students, to make some money, may try to purchase them and resell them?
It's a good point. I'm not sure how that works. Let me text my sister and get back to you later in the program.
A little inside scoop coming up.
Memphis, by the way, has, I can't remember if I said 8.5 or 9.5, but theirs is the highest at 9.5. Their schedule, they open with North Alabama, take on Troy. They go to at Florida State, the Mike Norvell revenge game. That'll be an interesting game, September 14th. They go to Navy, who they historically play really well, Middle Tennessee at USF. They also have to go to UTSA and go to Tulane. So They kind of have some tricky games on the road, but their home schedule is very favorable. 9.5's a lot for them. I just don't know if I'm a Ryan Silverfield believer. Navy is at 5.5. Army 6.5. Let's see, FAU at 6.5. North Texas at 5.5. Rice is at 6.5.
UAB.
UAB is at 6.5. So there's a lot of 6.5. Tulsa at 4.5. Tulane 7.5. UAB 6.5. UTSA 7.5.
So really, they have no idea what's going to pan out in the American.
Yeah.
They're just throwing 6.5, smacking it on there, and let the teams beat up on each other to see who gets over and under.
So RBN on YouTube says by their AAC teams odds, looks like the experts are expecting some parity. Definitely. I mean, I think it's the unbalanced schedules make it tough too because you don't really know what to expect by some of these teams. He also says Charlotte just got pre-approval plans for the expansion 30,000. I don't know when that will be done. I doubt it'll be done by the game.
We need to play this game, Bank of America.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The other thing I was going to bring up is I think you're talking about the standings. I think the standings could very much look like they do in baseball right now. Memphis and Tulane will be the UTSA and ECU, and then I think the rest of us could just be in a cluster. I mean, there'll be some outlying teams at the bottom like Temple, but it's going to be a huge middle of the pack. There's going to be a lot of teams going into that final week like 5 and 6, hoping to make a bowl game.
It's good if you're ECU. If you do fare well in the conference, you could see Memphis, USF, Tulane, those teams beat up on each other because I think they all play each other. Whereas ECU, basically, to me, if ECU wins the UTSA game, and I'm really putting the cart before the horse here, but I'm just saying, like, if they win the UTSA game, there's no other conference game that they're like even underdogs in, maybe big underdogs. I don't know.
Maybe this was Mike Oresco's parting gift to allow ECU to come on back because, missing out. If those three teams are going to beat up on each other, I mean, that gives us some flexibility because, you get the standpoint of obviously you're not getting that extra loss there playing one of those other teams, but, they have less margin for error and puts a little bit more pressure on themselves as they work through the conference schedule as well.
For sure. All right, let's get a break in. We are overdue for once. We'll do that. Good segment though. It's always good to talk some football, man.
It's the money generator.
It feels good for the soul too. Like talking about win totals and schedules.
Not 2-10.
Not 2-10. We're past that, guys. We're on to 2024. All right, we'll be right back. We're going to talk some Hurricanes hockey. Get a little Carolina corner going. Get an update on the Panthers. We got to get Bobby's latest rant on David Tepper. And maybe even some Charlotte Hornets talk if we're desperate. This is Hoist the Colors on a Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Inner Banks Media and 1079 WNCT presents Concert on the Common.
Next show, May 23rd, with Captain Mike and Shipwrecked, a tribute to Jimmy Buffett.
Cheeseburger in paradise. Medium rare with mustard be nice. Living on a little onion slice. Cheeseburger in paradise.
Concert on the Common, thanks to Inner Banks Media, the City of Greenville, and the Junior League of Greenville.
We'll see you at the show.
This is ECU head football coach Mike Houston, and you're listening to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in, Hoist the Colors, on this Tuesday, May 14th. It is a Tuesday. We just talked about win totals. If you're really feeling bold, DraftKings has ECU as national championship college football winner at plus 300,000. If you put $10 on it, you could win 30,000. Who's in?
Scared money don't make money.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Even if ECU just made the playoff, if you had that bet, like obviously they're not going to win. Like, I mean, you have to like beat what was it this year? A 12-team playoff? Does that start this year?
Yeah, I think it does start. Yeah.
So you'd have to beat like Alabama, then you'd have to beat Clemson, then you'd have to beat whoever. But it would be incredible.
It'd be a gauntlet. It'd be a fun ride. That would be awesome.
Bobby Harward with us. Speaking of fun rides, the Carolina Hurricanes are going to win this series in 7 games. I said it when they were down 2-0.
Did you?
I did not say it when they were down 3-0.
Okay. Still, even 2-0,
but
that's some confidence.
I think winning last night, Bobby, is a big deal because I think they're going to go back. I don't see them losing Game 6 in Carolina. And I think all the pressure is going to be on the Rangers for Game 7. Just your thoughts on Hurricanes finding a way to extend the series.
Yeah, I'm glad they are obviously happy they were able to pull it out. I mean, it keeps them alive. He was worried there. I had class last night, so I missed the first 2 periods. But when I turn it on, they're down 1-0, and I'm texting some buddies and was like, is this the last 20 minutes of Hurricanes hockey we're going to get to watch this season? And for them to turn it on, score 4 goals there in the 3rd period. Igor has been the Rangers goalie, for those who don't know hockey. He has been pretty solid this series and has kind of shut the Hurricanes out. And to get 4 goals, now granted one of them was an empty netter, so really 3 true goals past him. Hopefully that will loosen up his confidence a little bit. I do agree with you. I think coming back to PNC Arena tomorrow or Thursday night is going to be – that place is going to be nuts. It's going to be rocking. And I feel pretty good about Hurricanes winning Thursday. My concern comes Game 7 because that 4th game, winning that 4th game is always the hardest one. And, emotionally, how are they going to handle, getting through 3 wins in a row and then having that pressure? Now, okay, we've forced a Game 7. Are we going to still be able to pull it out? I am with you, though, saying that, like, I'm kind of talking myself out of it, in that the Rangers are going to have a ton of pressure. They don't want to be the team that blows a 3-0 lead.
They so I only turned it on in the 3rd period last night. It was 1-0 at the 17-minute mark, and they scored 3 goals in like 7 minutes. And Philip, I don't know, like, to me, Madison Square Garden, I know it's known for being a great environment, but like their fans were just sitting on their hands that whole 3rd period. I don't know if they were tired, but it just seemed like the place was tight, and I think that's only going to build if Carolina wins Game 6.
Yeah, it did seem like a little lack of energy. Now, the first period, it was there, especially when the Rangers took the lead or would go on a power play, because Carolina did commit some early dumb penalties. But, it never felt ruckus. It never felt like PNC-esque there. However, with this being said, if the Canes do force a Game 7, look, when a team is down 3-0 and they force Game 7, they've won 4 times to complete the reverse sweep. They've lost 5, so your odds are, roughly 50-50 there if you do force a Game 7. But one thing that's going to have to happen, and I understand the Canes were able to win Game 4 without winning the special teams battle, and they were able to win Game 5 without winning special teams battle. You cannot win 4 straight games without scoring power play goals and allowing more power play goals. This whole letting up shorties, no shots for yourself. Their PK was good last night, but still, one game, one of the next 2, it's going to have to click. It doesn't have to click in both of them, but you cannot go 4 in a row when the teams are this evenly matched. In regular season, you can do it, but not in the playoffs.
Dude, it's getting to the point I wish we could decline the penalty because, we've given up, 3-4 shorthanded goals, and we've only scored once in the power play this series. So to your point, that has to happen. They got to figure out the power play. They got to stop taking stupid penalties. Case in point, even last night they got lucky. Smechnikov, as great as he is known for just really boneheaded penalty, and sure enough, one came.
Yeah, one last night.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and thankfully, they survived it. But those are the kind of mistakes you can't make. I do like we have veteran leadership in Brent Burns, even though he's super old. Jordan Stahl, Kuznetsov from Washington, he's a guy that is playoff tested. So some of these guys, that hopefully they do a good job in that locker room. And dude, Rod Bredemore's the best, so I love having him behind the bench.
Wait, I got a question about the rule book.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever declined one, but could you? Could they be like New York 96? Roughing, penalties declined, 5-on-5 hockey. Could they do it?
Why not?
I don't know. Maybe. If you can, might as well.
I think that would just put more pressure on the Rangers if Carolina declined it. And
exactly.
Just roll with it.
Yeah, we don't want to be on the power play. Go ahead. That would mess with their head. That'd be funny.
Let's do it.
I'm for it.
First time for everything. Might as well do it if you're trying for the reverse sweep.
Yeah.
Your Bruins, by the way, are not looking too hot. I think they're done.
Yeah, I think they are. I said they were going to lose it in 5. When they came out and won Game 1 the way they did, I changed my mind and said they're going to lose in 6 because I really did think they were going to be able to win one of the 2 home games. And look, they're just playing flat hockey. They're struggling in the neutral zone to enter the puck with any sort of transparency. They're getting their butt handed to them in shots on goal. The officials haven't done us any favors, but we've also put in ourselves in so many of those situations. It's frustrating. It's probably not close tonight. They're just not playing with the heart and the passion they need to play with. Like I said, I think Florida's a better team, but it's been a frustrating last 3 games. Like I said, I was content losing in 5 coming into the series. I was not content going 0-2 at home. I at least was hoping to force 6. It could be a quick night. I think I think they jump out early and it's done. This team there's no fight.
Philip is resigned to the fact his Bruins are done. Based upon that, John Moody says he'll be tuned in Thursday as he heads up with the camper to North Wilkesboro Speedway for the NASCAR All-Star Race. So, John, I'll tell you what. Come Thursday, we'll have a little NASCAR segment for you. Led by Philip, because if it's me and Scooter or me and Kaysen, we don't really know what we're talking about.
Kaysen can help out.
Kaysen can help out. Kaysen may be on tomorrow, maybe Thursday. We're trying to get a few ECU baseball players on tomorrow, so we'll see. Let's get our final break in. We'll come back. We'll get the latest on the Carolina Panthers and maybe some Charlotte Hornets talk as well with Bobby.
Oof, let's just go ahead and start NASCAR now. This is bad. I don't talk about these things.
This is true. We'll be right back to wrap up HTC on a Tuesday.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master. Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Football time!
Set the tone. Kyle, tie your shoes, tie your shoes. Yeah, good job. Woo! Yeah!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild. When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Air service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
What's happening? Tell me what's happening.
Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on this Tuesday. Final segment here. Bobby Harward is calling for people to be fired off the air. We'll save that discussion for another day. Somehow Doug Gottlieb is going to be a head coach at the Division I level for Green Bay and do a daily radio show on Fox, so that'll be interesting. But whatever. Let's talk Carolina Panthers. What has David Tepper done to piss you off lately?
You know, he he hasn't done much recently. I think it's been so quiet. He's just been stepping out of the way.
Did we ever get your take on him taking that guy's hat off?
Dude, what an idiot.
I had to get you going somehow.
Dude, I had forgot. Dude, I get the like his thought process going in was to have fun, but to take another dude's hat off, like I saw comments and stuff, people like, I'd hit him or punch him in the face. No, you wouldn't. Like, you would not. But I'd just
call the police for first-degree battery, though.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to approach it and get some money. But
no, I don't want money. I want him to be fired from the league. He assaulted a fan.
Sell the team. Use it as a reason to fire him.
I see. But, like, if you just took my hat off right now, I think I would just look at you like, are you serious? But
right, who does that?
Yeah, it's just really odd. I do think he was trying to joke and have some fun banter, but just, dude, read the room. Like, you've been bashed for everything you've done. Let the team win some games first before you want to, play fun shenanigans with a restaurant owner or a bartender or whatever it was. So, yeah, it's just – I don't know. They did hire an analytics guru. I think he helped start up PFF, and I can't remember where he just was, but Eric Eager is his name. I watched an interview with him last night. I kind of nerded out on it because what I'm going back to school for data science is the same stuff he's doing within football. So using a couple of programming languages that, to help with analytics. And they had a great conversation about actually the Lions 49ers game and going for that.
Go for two.
Yeah.
Going for fourth down and all that stuff.
Yeah, and just how analytics comes into play and momentum and that sort of thing.
So what did you think of the draft? I don't know I think I asked you a couple weeks ago, but it was in and out.
Yeah. my favorite thing in the draft was recouping the second-round pick from next year. I do like now. At first, I was pissed when they traded up to the first round because you're giving up assets to move up. Granted, it was like one spot, but now seeing that the Patriots would have taken Leggett, I'm like, okay, that was a great move. And then you have your fifth-year option, which is secured. That dude's a tank. I don't know if y'all have seen pictures of him at the rookie minicamp, but the dude is just built completely different. And so excited about that. I do like the Jonathan Brooks move. I know, national. Here's my thing with the national media. The Panthers sucked last year, so anything they do is going to suck. And when they're good, anything they do is going to be great. So trying to take that out of the, perspective, I like the Jonathan Brooks move. I think there's great value in Jatavion Sanders, that tight end they got in the 4th round. My concern was the 3rd-round linebacker they got out of Kentucky, Trevin Wallace. But if you're going to trust somebody to evaluate a linebacker, I guess I'll trust Dan Morgan to do that.
What do you think about the Panthers offseason, Phillip, to this point? Like, what concerns you most? What are you most happy with?
Yeah, I was happy to get some, like Bobby said, some draft capital. The only problem that I didn't love is, like, you had those 2 corners there that you could have went with Cooper or Kool-Aid. You trade back, and then you give up most of what you just got to trade up and get a running back. You have so many on the roster now. Look, at the end of the day, he's going to be good, I think, but I don't know. Just there's not enough draft capital I like to with this team right now to give up some for a running back. Like, find some guys that can block for the running backs you have first, because right now it probably doesn't even matter who's back there. You could put Barry back there, it probably wouldn't matter.
All right, 30 seconds on Charlotte Hornets basketball.
Wow, 30 seconds.
Yeah,
a lot to unpack. No, we talked a little bit during the break. They got new ownership now. I really like what they've done. They got Jeff Peterson, a new GM from the Nets. He was there when they had the whole James Harden, Durant, Irving stuff, so he's been around. He seems to get along pretty well with those big names, not like we'll draw any of those to Charlotte. Charles Lee's the new head coach from the Celtics, but he was on, obviously, Celtics are rolling. The Bucks, he was on their staff when they won it, and then he was in Atlanta when they went to the the conference finals. So really like the hires they're making. The biggest takeaway from me, I mean, they just got a business exec from the Cavaliers who was the top business exec there. So people are leaving other league teams to come to the Hornets, which has never happened before.
They finally have a direction, and we'll see where it leads. And Bobby,
unlike ECU basketball.
Appreciate it, man, on this Wednesday. We got to get out of here, or Tuesday. We'll be back Wednesday. Hoist the Colors.
With your host, Stephen Igo.
I had to get
Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back tomorrow with more